Hello everybody once again, this is AikawaKazu. Welcome back to another Path of Exile video. Today I'll be sharing with you guys how I actually shape my atlas and how I'm able to sustain and be able to run shape channels over and over again. So I'm just going to show you my stash here of my shape channels. I have 62 shape channel maps right now. So the reason why you want to actually watch this video is number one, you love to run a particular map over and over again, or rather a shaped map over and over again. Why shaped? I'll share with you guys again in this video. And you really enjoy the map because the map really suits your build, and you're probably using a very fast build in the sense that it's able to farm currency really fast, which means it's a currency farmer, and that's why you want to be able to run the map that you can farm the fastest on for the longest period of time, which is why we're talking about sustaining maps in that sense. Alright, but if you're really new to the Atlas and to mapping in general, you might want to go check out the Engineering Eternity's Atlas guide. Put links in the description below. Really good guide by Engineering Eternity, and they always have very good guides for basically people who are really new to Path of Exile. In any case, I won't miss out any crucial details that you need to know regarding how I actually shape my Atlas and how I'm able to sustain shape channels. Okay, so the first thing that you need to know straight away is that item quantity increase does not affect map drops, which means, you know, if you have stuff like Biscos, which gives you item quantity increase, drop by slain normal enemies, you know, that kind of stuff, or if you are using a Wind Ripper Magic Find build, which I have as well, item quantity does not increase your chance to get map drops. It's just RNG. Alright, I do not know exactly what can affect, but basically the idea here is very simple. The more monsters that you kill, the higher chance you have to get a map drop. So the next question is, how do you be able to increase the amount of monsters in the map that you're running? Because the more monsters there are in the map, which that means that allows you to kill more monsters, and therefore allow you to have the highest chance for the monsters that you kill to drop a map, thereby allowing you to sustain maps. See the idea here? More monsters to kill, higher chance to drop maps, better chance to sustain the maps that you run. Alright, I'm going to show you how to do that today. So a few things that you can do to increase you know, the amount of monsters in your map is that you can actually use Orb of Alchemy or Orb of Transmutation to get a map modifier on the maps that you run that gives you, like, you know, more rare monsters, more magic monsters. Or you can see for white maps that has not been used Orb of Transmutation on, you don't have any modifiers, right? But if I use the Orb of Alchemy, right, you can see that I have 25% pack size, 18% pack size, 21% pack size. You can get all this pack size even if you use Orb of Transmutation for a magic level. But obviously, the more mods there are on the map, the more types of modifiers that you can have, like rare monsters, more rare monsters, more magic monsters. You can see this one is 22% more rare monsters. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to reroll this one. Right, this is fine, and this is fine. But basically, using currencies on your maps can increase the amount of monsters and pack size on maps. So that means you have more monsters. The other thing that you can do to increase the number of monsters on your map is by using Sextant mods. But before we get to that, right, you need to know some map basics first, which I mentioned earlier on. If you only want to run a shaped tier 10 map, why shaped, right? Because even if you only, for example, okay, if I currently have no tier 11s and tier 12s, for example, but supposedly if I do my tier 10 map, okay, just imagine, right? My tier 10 map now is Borg, and I have it mapped to the map, right? When I run Borg and it's not shaped, even if, okay, wait, drop Borg to the back example, okay, Belfry, okay, even if I do not have if I run, let's say if I run Belfry, right? Even if I do not have Moon Temple map onto my Atlas, alright, that means it's like an empty spot like this, right? When I run Belfry, it will have a chance to drop Moon Temple because it is a connected path, right? So very simple. If I try to run Waterways, for example, which I did back then, because Waterways is like channels, but just a different boss, right? It's the same map layout in that sense, right? When I run Waterways, because it's connected to Torture Chamber, even if I don't have any tier 12 maps mapped onto my Atlas, but because Torture Chamber is a map connected to Waterways, I actually can drop Waterways even if I run. I mean, I can drop Torture Chamber even if I run waterways, which is why if you look at my map stash right now, I actually have a stash of torture chambers. Because back then, before I actually did this thing for channels, which I'm going to explain again, I was doing channels, which is ship channels, I was doing waterways, which is somewhere here, and I was doing shaped ashen wood, because I was trying to run channels so that I can drop waterways, and when I ran waterways, I was hoping to drop ashen wood, because shaped ashen wood is tier 11 as well, and because I do not have any tier 12 map mapped, that I will try to rotate between the three, but it didn't work out because I didn't know about this connected map rule, right? But this rule doesn't apply to shaped maps, which is why we are able to sustain shaped channels or any shaped map for that matter, because this connected map drop rule doesn't apply. So this is why that's why we have to pick a shaped map. So why or how are we going to be able to sustain channels? The next thing you need to know is that you cannot have any map of the same tier that you're trying to run over and over again mapped onto your atlas. So you can see that because my shaped map, so first thing, it needs to be a shaped map, right? So I'm talking about shaped channel right now. I cannot have any T10s mapped onto my atlas, right? So this Borg one is because it's the Elder and he has a Guardian on it, but I actually didn't map my Borg, alright? So you see all these tier 10s are not mapped. You also cannot map the +1 of the tier. So tier 10 +1 is tier 11, right? You know, simple math, 1 + 1 equals to 2, or 2 + 2 equals to 4 - 1 equals to 3. You get it, right? So tier 11s, okay, are not mapped as well. So if you want to run shaped channels, number 1, you cannot have any tier 10s. Number 2, you cannot have any tier 11s. And if you really want to try hard, tier 12 as well. But question is, why? Why tier 12 as well, right? So I have no tier 12 as well. It's because you want to get your completed bonus objectives for your atlas up to 100%. But when you get to 100%, you will now have a chance for maps to drop 2 tiers higher. Yeah. And every time I complete one more bonus objective for my atlas, it's another 1%. Yeah. So when you hit 100%, you will get a 100% chance to drop maps that are 1 tier higher. So when I first played the game, I thought that means that at least one map will drop in the maps that I run. But that is not true. That is actually not the case. It actually means that if a map drops, it will be 100% +1 tier. So how does this work, right? Why you need to do tier 12 is because now I have a 4% chance to drop 2 tiers higher. But why this +1 tier thing is good in the first place when you get 100 completed bonus objectives is because, let's say if I'm running channels, a tier 9 map drops, right? Let's say the game rolls a tier 9 to drop. But hey, I got +1, so it rolls a tier 10, and because shaped channel is my only tier 10 map, I will only get channels. Again, why do you not map tier 11s? Because when the game rolls me to drop a tier 10 map, it tries to +1, but +1 does not exist, therefore it will drop channels again. So we are giving ourselves 2 instances for highest chance to drop channels. In fact, it will only drop channels if that 2 instances happen, right? And again, if it tries to +2, which has a 4% chance right now, right, it will again drop me channel because I don't have a tier 12 map. And because it's a shaped map, the connected map rule doesn't apply, which means that whenever the game rolls a tier 9, tier 10, 11, or 12 map to drop for me, I will always get channels because of the +1. And then if I get tier 10, I'll just get channel. If I get 10 +1, it will be channel, and if I get 10 +2, it will be channel again. So I have 4 more opportunities to 100% get channel. But if it drops a tier 8, I'll just get a tier 9 map. Alright? If I drop a tier 7, you'll just get a tier 8. So this is how we make sure that we maximize the odds of getting shaped channels by doing that thing. Right? So the next thing that we want to do right now is that we want to increase the number of monsters or pack size or things that you can kill in channels. In this case, channels, right? So that, because I mentioned at the start, the more you kill, the higher chance you can drop maps, and the higher chance you can drop maps, the higher chance you are able to get shaped channels or the map that you want to run over and over again. So by doing sextant blocking and using sextants, we can actually achieve that. Okay, so sextant blocking is quite a diverse, complicated topic to some people, but I'm going to try and make it simple today for you, which is quite simple. Okay, I'll put 2 links in the description below for sextant simulators. That means they will basically have a browser that will, like when you open or link, that will give you an atlas, and you can put sextants anywhere you want. You can see what it does, that kind of stuff. But basically, what the simulator helps you to do is to help you recognize the maps around the map that you want to run. For example, in this case, channel. The maps around channel that can apply Sextant mods, because you can see there's a radius, right? So any maps that's within this red little bubble here will affect the maps around them. So you see my maze has 10% damage increase for stationary, my grotto has that Sextant mod as well, and my underground sea map has that Sextant mod as well. So the first thing that you need to identify is, number one, what map you want to run, right? So this, in this case, ship channel. Number two, you need to find out which maps around channel affects, or rather the Sextant bubble is able to reach channel. It need not be in the circle, as long as the red circle touches the channel map, excluding the little orange border around that indicates that you have completed the bonus objective. But as long as the red line touches the channel map, that means that that map can actually apply Sextant mods onto that map. So in this case, for channels, you have cells, you have grotto, you have excavation, and you have gorge. So when you go to the simulator, when you click on channel, it will tell you straight away, or it will show you that it's grotto, it's cells, it's excavation, and it's gorge. That's why the simulators are very helpful. So you want to get good Sextant mods on grotto, cells, excavation, and gorge, right? But the way Sextant modifiers work is that if I have a Sextant mod on maze, and when I try to roll grotto, grotto cannot roll the same Sextant mod. If not, you can just put like additional breach on everything, right? And you can have 5 additional breaches in the map that you run. So it's not that quote-unquote overpowered. The balancing part of it is that a Sextant modifier cannot roll twice or affect. I mean, the same Sextant modifier cannot affect a map twice, right? So when I roll maze to get this, for example, that means that my grotto can now no longer roll this. So why is this important? Because you want to roll bad Sextant mods on the map around the maps that can affect channel. So you can see all these red circles are actually surrounding my cells, my grotto, my excavation, and my gorge. This sulfur vents over here is not needed. I did it wrongly, okay? So basically, this is the blocking. This is what they mean by Sextant blocking. You want to roll bad modifiers on maps that can affect your channel, that affects the maps around channel in that sense. So channel is affected by grotto, cells, excavation, and maze. So anything that affects this 4 maps, I want to roll bad Sextant modifiers. So what exactly are bad Sextant modifiers? You can actually Google search. There's a Reddit thread that tells you like bad and medium bad Sextant modifiers. But basically, the rule of thumb is that any Sextant mod that doesn't give you pack size or gives you more monsters to kill in your map is a bad Sextant modifier. So look at this one. 100% increased effect of onslaught on players and monsters. Bad, no additional monsters. This one, bad, no additional monsters, right? This one, yeah, roll Exile seems cool. But what if your map, you see, it's only 1 additional roll Exile, so it's not a lot of monsters, it's just 1 more mod. Bad, it's not that good, right? This one is debatable. So there are certain Sextant mods which are quote unquote bad or medium bad in that sense for certain builds or certain people, but might not be bad at all. Because if you look at this, 15% increase in pack size is nice, right? More monsters, right? And 30% increase in quantity of items. Whoa, cool. That means I can get higher chance to get items, right? But it only works on unidentified maps. So when you first start out, you won't have a stash of unidentified channels, even though I do have a bunch saved up. So I can actually redo my Sextant blocking such that I don't roll this here. I should totally roll areas can have slipstreams inside this one, so that when I roll my Sextants on cells, grotto, excavation, and gorge, I have a chance to actually roll this modifier, right? And then this one is bad, it's the stationary one again. So remember, you appeared here and you appeared here, right? Because only cells is affected by these 2 bad Sextant modifiers. That means when I roll cells now, which I'm going to show you right now how I do my Sextants, right? You can see now I get maps have 20% quantity. So these 3 maps that have quantity and elk is useless, alright? Because this quality thing doesn't stack. Okay, so I need to get 3 more channels out, and I don't need to chisel them anymore. This saves you chisel in that sense. But chisels are relatively cheap. But in any case, this is an okay Sextant mod, right? So additional monsters that convert when killed, good, right? This one, additional monsters that heal, again additional monsters. This one is bad. Right? This is actually a bad Sextant mod. Additional monsters that deal lightning damage. So I used what? 5 Sextants on 4 map modifiers, right? Which is basically how Sextant blocking works. It helps you to save the amount of Sextants that you actually use. Because let's say if I don't do the blocking, my cells, when I try to use Sextants on it, will now have a chance to roll this one, this one as well. When there's like 1, 2, there's like 5 to 6 or even 7 quote unquote bad sextant modifiers that you just don't want to roll. But now I minimize it by 2. So that's why you need to do sextant blocking, and you just need to do it once. Because while sextants have a 3 use remaining kind of thing to it, when I run channels, my channels is not affected by maze. So because channels is not affected by maze, I will not actually use up the use from my maps that are used for blocking. So all you need to do for channels potentially is just use 4 white sextants, and you get good modifiers on them. So I use 5 this time. Sometimes you might use 6 or even 7 depending on your RNG, but I have minimized that by doing sextant blocking. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run the channel itself. I need to find 3 clean channels. This one, this one, this one. I'm going to elk them real quick. Let me put this inside. Wait, I can't do reflect elemental damage. So let me reroll this. This is fine. Reflect elemental damage again. This is pretty crazy, but we'll do the one with this one. More rare monsters, elemental weakness, right? So what you can do for additional quantity as well, which again, as I mentioned, don't affect the map drops, right? You should, if you want to get more items in the map, then you can put in sacrifices. It helps increase item quantity, but it doesn't affect. I mean, okay, I'll run with it. Okay, so we're gonna run a channel without that sacrificing. But if you want to, you can use sacrifice fragments inside, and you'll be able to increase your item quantity in the map. Okay, so let's go. This is an auto bomber. So you can see shape channel, right? There we go. Very nice. Another shape channel. So to give you an honest review or honest perspective to this is that I just got 2 channels, right? It's like, whoa, Kazu, this is working, man. This is like a positive example. So I've actually recorded this video 3 times before this, right? And in 2 out of the now 4 times, this is the 4th time I'm recording this, right? 2 of the runs that I ran, I didn't actually get any shape channels. But in my first recording, alright, you can actually check my stream VODs for this for proof. If in case, you know, you don't like Kazu, you're lying, you know, you get 4 channels every time. But yeah, I actually dropped 4 channels in my first recording, and in my second and third recording, I actually didn't drop any channels. So sextant blocking and using sextants doesn't guarantee you to get a map drop, which is why I advise you to do sextants and sextant blocking only after you have gathered around 6 shaped map of your choice. So in this case, it's shaped channels, right? Yeah, you can see I've killed so much monsters, but you know, they didn't drop the map. So again, maps are not, I know I sound like I'm nagging right now, maps are not, or map drops are not affected by item quantity increase, but it is highly recommended that if you run a lot of maps in Path of Exile, like maybe 50 maps every day or 100 maps every day, that you are advised to, that's the 3rd channel by the way, to, you know, you're advised to get a viscose color. Yeah. The amount of returns you can get, it's immense. It's really good, and the reason why I'm running shaped channels, like some people like to run shaped vaults, you know, shaped atoll. So I'll talk about some of the reasons right now. So number 1, shaped channel is a tier 10 map. Shaped atoll and shaped vault is a raid map, because shaped atoll is 6+5. It's a tier 11, right? So tier 11 maps or raid maps have a chance to roll not very good map modifiers, and in my case you can see I'm going to be skipping the boss for this this character, because this is a character that's made to run maps really fast, right? So once I'm done, I'll just leave the map, correct? And then I'll be running another one to show you all, since I run it so fast anyway. Yep. So number 1, shaped channel is a tier 10 map, so it's the highest tiered map that you can get for a yellow map, right? And that means that you won't have the chance to roll very bad map modifiers. What I mean by bad modifiers is like, for example, for the same map modifier for a yellow map, a red map can roll much higher. For example, on a yellow map, maybe you roll -8% max player resistances, right? Which is still okay to run. Even if it's stacked with elemental weakness curse, right? You can still remove the curse and everything, so it's not so bad. But once you get into raid maps, you have like -12, and basically the odds of you dying and your mapper buying fast currency builds, right? Look at those Gore Harrow explosions. So if you want to run it as fast as possible, right? And because you run it so fast, you can farm currency and you can build up your currency really, really fast. So that's the whole idea why behind Ship Channel. The other reason why Ship Channel over something like, for example, this build actually runs Toxic Sewers or Waste Pool really, really well, right? A Shield Charge build is really, really nice for Toxic Sewers and Waste Pool. Like, you just charge through the entire sewers and it's really, really nice. So we don't run those, again, because if you ship Waste Pool, it's going to be a tier 14. So if you're going to run tier 14s, I think Ship Vaults is arguably the quote-unquote better shaped map to run. Yeah. But let's say if you're running Toxic Sewers, let's say you shape Toxic Sewers, right? I think Toxic Sewers is a tier 9 map if you shape it. I think it's 4+5 if I remember correctly. Or it might be a tier 10, can't remember. But I think it's a tier 9. Like, it will be competing with Strand, right? And it might not. I think that's the only map drop that I got so far, right? So it's not Shape Channels, by the way, it's like my second run. So Waste Pool and Toxic Sewers, if you notice how big Channel is, the additional monsters, I might be wrong on this, but this is my observation so far after watching Cute Dog run Toxic Sewers, and he mentioned that he doesn't seem to feel like he's getting enough returns compared to Channels. Or maybe Strands, I can't remember if Toxic Sewers is tier 10 or tier 9, right? So if you look at Toxic Sewers, right, it is a very, very densely packed map, even without using Sextants, right? So when you use Sextants and you get like additional monsters roll, maybe the amount of additional monsters is not as significant as if you roll on Channel, which if you notice at the end of the map just now, that little top right corner, right, that there are many corners in Channels that actually allow such monsters to spawn. Like, let me show you another area. This is my third and last run, okay, to give you guys an honest representation of the Sextant blocking and Sextant usage. So you can see my second run, I didn't get any Shape Channels, but I got, what, 3 on my first run? Yep. So you can see in 3 runs, I got 3 already. In that sense, we are quote-unquote sustaining, but if you include the 2 runs that I didn't run, but I got 4 in 1 run, right? So 4 plus 3 is 7, I'm +1 right now, even though I run potentially 6 times, I think. Wait, no, in those runs, in those maps, I only ran 1 time each. So I did 3 runs, but I got 4 plus 3, 7. Yeah. So I got +3 channels basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I got +3 channels overall, even though I ran basically I got 7 channels after running channels 4 times. So I got 3 extra channels after running 4 channel maps. Yeah. So even though I used 3, I got, or I used 4, I got 3 back overall, right? So that's how I'm sustaining. Oh, it's not cool. That's why I cannot run. I'm just gonna escape here. So that's another bad thing about this build right now, because this build is not complete. But the reason why I'm using this build is because it runs the map really fast to give you guys a very wholesome representation of how you actually sustain, you know. Like now, still no map drop, by the way. Which is why just now I mentioned that you want to make sure that you at least have 6 channels. So you can do it a few ways. One, you can buy 6 channels from someone, right? And then you can run 6 channels and then do your Sextant blocking and everything. I want to pick this up. I can't pick this up. Okay. Yeah, cool. So the other thing about this build that's not good is I can't do Abyssal Chasms right now because it's not complete yet. It's not ready, yeah. But you can see that I still clear relatively fast. So we got a map drop is bone. We got a map drop is bone crypt. Yep. Yeah, this is the corners I'm talking about. In channels, you have that top corner where monsters can be, and you see all these little small corners that usually if you don't do Sextant blocking, you don't see mobs around here. But once you do Sextant blocking, you will see mobs be around those locations. That's why I feel like using Sextants on channels seems to be the one that is really of value right now. And we're just using 4 white Sextants. We're not even using the 2 possible yellow Sextants, which is on channel itself, and also from ATO. But you need to use 2 yellow Sextants plus 4 white Sextants at the very least for doing channels, which is not needed as far as I can see so far. Just 4 white Sextants is good enough to sustain your channels. And yeah. So being able to do the boss definitely increases the chance for... Ooh, that was close. I didn't die in this video. Phew. Saved. So being able to do bosses really helps you to sustain, because I actually use my Wind Ripper to run my channels instead, because bosses have a chance to drop maps as well. If you notice, if you play PoE long enough, bosses have quote unquote the highest chance to drop maps in that sense, and when they do drop, they have a chance to drop +1 even if you don't have this. If I'm not wrong, I think Sandarin told me this before. That's why it is always nice to have a build that can kill bosses and farm currency well as well, which is why I use my Magic Fine Wind Ripper for maximum monies made, but that character actually runs, I would say, 2 to 3 times slower than this character. Yep. But I think that's about it for this video. I've shared why I do channels, I've shared how, and yep, get Abiscos. If you play a lot of PoE and you run a lot of maps, and so far ship channels is the way to go. Definitely have returns. If you want to do ship strands, then you have to unmap all your strands, which in my case I'll need to spend 180 chaos, because 1 yellow sextant is about 5.5 chaos per, and you need 3 plus 1 orb of scouring to unmap a map from your map if it's yellow tier, and tier 9s are yellow. So I need about 180 chaos with the current state of the game right now, which is definitely very expensive, which is why if you're new to PoE and you have not mapped your maps to tier 8 onwards, which means just tier 1 to 8, which is why I tell my viewers who are new to PoE to map their maps until before they get to tier 9 and 10, before they need to make some choices, that you'll be saving currency once you actually watch this video and you know how to shape or do your atlas for PoE. And I would say that this thing will be timeless unless there's some crazy change to Path of Exile atlas, that you will want to always map all your maps from tier 1 to 8, tier 9 if you're just doing a shape tier 10, and then if you're doing other shape maps like Vaults 14, then you can do mapping from 1 to 13, and then don't map any tier 14s and 15s, that kind of stuff. But that's why tier 14s is really hard to sustain, because number 1, you need a very good build, and you need some good gear to farm those maps really efficiently compared to just farming tier 10s really fast. But yeah, ship channels, highly recommended. You can't really lose money because of the divination cards. Immunity drops a lot, and they're not that rare compared to the divination cards in vaults, or in my case, which I got Skirmas by Alan. When I tried to do Ashen Wood, I did like 50 runs. I only got 1 Enlightened level 3 divination card. I need 8, by the way, if I'm not wrong. So not really worthwhile to try and do Ashen Wood as a tier 11. I tried it, even though it's a decent map. The density is quite nice. But overall, recommend channels. And yep, if you have any questions for me, feel free to leave in the comments below. I stream every day live, twitch.tv/Kazu Aikawa. You can watch my stream 7 PM GMT +8 every day. And if you want to have a positive community for PoE, be it if you are from the Southeast Asia, I know that the Southeast Asia community is quite small, so if you are from Singapore or anywhere from Southeast Asia and you're looking for a positive Path of Exile community, you can check out our Discord channel. We have a bunch of really nice people. We actually have a guild as well, which, see, all these people are playing and they're from the guild right now. And it's 1:30 AM for most of us, not all of them. We have some friends from EU and NA, but yeah, you guys are welcome to join the guild, join our community, our Discord channel. Links in the description below. We have some leveling stuff as well, and it's always nice to have someone to go to whenever you have some, hard burning questions to ask. But if not, that's it from me. Name has been AikawaKazu. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Thanks for watching once again. God bless, and I'll see you guys and girls in the next one. Bye bye.